Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We're going to go to Philadelphia. Maybe we'll climb up those rocky steps that we see in those movies and find out if that's good for us or not. Our guest is Dr. Seema Bonney. She is the founder and medical director of the Anti-Aging and Longevity Center of Philadelphia. Just so you know, she is dual board certified in both anti-aging and regenerative medicine, as well as emergency medicine. And I think that's important to know. Doctor, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Why do I said to you before we started that I don't like the term anti-aging. In fact, in my book, Growing Old Sucks, but it doesn't have to. I talk about that a lot because if you anti-age, you're dead. Okay?
Right. You want to age, otherwise, exactly. Right.
Yeah, you can't, right? So I like the term longevity. That's a great term. Why did you decide to practice that instead of becoming a surgeon?
Interesting you ask. I went to medical school here in Philadelphia, and all I wanted to do was to save lives. I cannot tell you how many times I remember looking at people and saying, I want to save lives. That's what I want to do with my life. So the natural place, it seemed like at the time to go, was emergency medicine, right? I think the show ER was at its height. I remember a record number of medical students applying for ER. I remember my year, at least that's what we were told. And it was, it seemed like the most natural fit to go out and be able to make like the most significant changes in someone's life. Now, over the years, what I've realized, because I, graduated from medical school 21 years ago, even though it kind of feels like yesterday, that, I know
Hold on a second
coming into the ER. Things like constipation, blood pressure issues, blood sugar, regulation issues. All of these things are really chronic of nature. And what we would do in a lot of cases is lower, the blood sugar, lower the hypertension, or give somebody an enema, but it didn't really fix the root cause of the problem, right? So, over time, I started thinking, I think, these people keep coming in for the same things. Who out there is fixing, the real issue, or who could be, or who should be? And so I kind of assumed, honestly, for a long time that it was the primary care providers that patients either weren't seeing or weren't really, listening to. And over time, there were patients who were like, well, I've seen my doctor 3 times in the last, month, and they just keep telling me to go into the ER, So I remember thinking there's definitely a need, for this looking at the root cause of symptoms people have, right? And then a couple other things happened with my own health. Really one major issue, which actually, I ended up with like a pretty significant condition called pulmonary emboli, which are blood clots in your lungs. And, somebody who's super healthy, but over the years, started working night shifts in the ER, and that had actually caused such circadian rhythm disruption that I wasn't exercising like I always had my whole life, starting at the age of 15. I wasn't eating some of the right foods that I normally would, but I was too tired to really care, and too tired to, just wanted to eat foods that kind of keep you awake or give you some energy short term. And then I ended up with that, which really was, like a come to Jesus kind of moment for me. Hey, you better stop and fix some things, because this is really going in the wrong path. And then here's the thing: traditional medicine, we do such amazing things traditionally, right? But the prevention and the figuring out like root causes of disease and addressing that's not something we really do in medicine. And it didn't really dawn on me until it happened to me. When I looked at the doctor and said, hey, so what I need to do to make sure this doesn't happen again, they were like, oh, there's nothing, but when it does, we'll give you this medication for life. And I'm like, well, that's not acceptable. I didn't say that, but I thought it, and then I went about figuring out how I don't ever have that happen to me again, because there are things you can do, but for that, you really need deep dive into like lifestyle factors and biochemistry and, a real focus in reducing inflammation, because that's the kind of thing that turns certain genes on or leaves them off, and most chronic disease starts because of, higher levels of inflammation.
Doctor, that was terrific. I tried to tell you that you've been practicing for 20 plus years?
Yep, 21.
That's 21 years. Well, obviously, in looking at your photograph, you know what you're doing.
I mean, people's jaws often drop when they realize how old I am, and they're like, "You're kidding, right?" So, I mean, I think I maybe picked a good field of medicine to be in,
You did, I guess so. You also call yourself a holistic doctor. To me, a holistic or integrative approach is you try some what we've come to know as alternative health, maybe supplements to lower blood sugar rather than putting somebody on metformin. Would that be accurate in a description of you?
I am so glad you brought that up, because here's the deal. Nothing I do is alternative. In fact, when people say, "Oh, you're an alternative doctor," or sometimes Google makes you pick things like that, or certain categories only open like alternative, and I refuse to pick it, because nothing I do is alternative. What I do is a really deep dive into your biochemistry, correcting lifestyle factors. This, I would say, is really a preventative approach as opposed to a super reactive approach. As far as the word holistic, to me, holistic means making sure that you can do everything to put the body in the right environment, because it was programmed. It's an incredible machine, right? Is there anything more amazing than the human body? It's an incredible machine, but I think that the fuel we're using to move it, or to use the body and the environment that we're in are often, the reasons the body can't function well. So to me, correcting all of those things and letting the body naturally do what it was designed to do is what it means to me as holistic, as opposed to, alternative type things. Do I agree with certain things that, might be considered more alternative to mainstream? I agree there is a place for acupuncture. I agree there's a place for chiropractic. I agree, massage can be extremely therapeutic. A lot of these modalities that we don't think of as traditional doctors is really helping the patient. I think we'd have no opioid crisis if we used acupuncture, chiropractic, mindfulness techniques, all of the massage, all of those things, So I think that, in that respect, I'm holistic, but I don't use the term myself. I'll be honest, when I started, practicing this medicine, patients would say to me, "We're looking for a holistic doctor." I understand what they mean, but, as traditionally in medicine, when we think of holistic, I don't know that we think of it as in a positive way. It's just in a sort of a different kind of, I don't know what they really do way, but it's all medicine. It's just a proactive, it's a really deep dive, and it's a better way of doing things instead of chasing the tail once you're sick.
Our guest is Seema Bonney. She is the founder and director of the Anti-Aging and Longevity Center of Philadelphia. And we only have 1 minute left in this segment. So the big question of the day is, which do you prefer, Pat's or Geno's?
So guess what? I'm a pescatarian.
What?
I'm going to have to say choice C. Neither.
You don't. Good. All right. You are healthy. Well, how many times a week then do you, when we come back, I'm going to ask you how many times a week you run up those rocky steps with that beautiful view in Philadelphia. All right, this is Late Night Health. Join us at latenighthealth.com. Join us at latenighthealth.com. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Late Night Health continues. There's a lot of talk all over the internet about the remarkable benefits of Carbon 60, and baby boomers are especially excited about it. Greska's Carbon 60 is the premium Carbon 60, developed by an aerospace and NASA scientist. 95% of Greska's customers report positive results from this Nobel Prize-winning technology in just 4 days. Imagine more energy, better health, and more vitality. It's very bioavailable to quickly mend toxin-crippled cells. This is a super powerful antioxidant. Bob Greska is so confident that you'll love his Carbon 60, he wants to send you a bottle at 50% off the regular price to see how life-changing this will be for you. Call 720-600-6040. That's 720-600-6040. Visit c-60.com to learn more. Call 720-600-6040 now or visit c-60.com.
If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.
Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. You are a beautiful masterpiece of celestial art. God sculpted your body, painted your portrait, and forged your blessed soul from the stardust. As with any masterwork, you may weather with age or get damaged a bit along the way. But doesn't that add to your beauty and mystique? Don't ever change who you are. You're loved and cherished in heaven just the way you are. Of all the challenges you've faced in life, you can be only made better for them. The greatest masterworks on earth have all been ravaged by the tests of time, only to become more revered in their inherent beauty. Always know you're one of God's masterworks meant to shine in that same way.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Our guest is Dr. Seema Bonney. She is the founder and medical director of the Anti-Aging and Longevity Center of Philadelphia. Just before we stop for our break, one of the things that I asked Dr. Bonney is, do you run up the Rocky Steps a couple times a week?
I try to do it twice a week. Yep.
Is that a good exercise? I mean, that's got to be
I love mixing it up.
Yeah, that's a great exercise, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, wow. As we age, people come down with diabetes, They have low energy. They complain about brain fog. Do you think this is natural, or is this something that we do to ourselves because of our lifestyle decisions?
So I think that's a great question, and it's probably a combination of both things, but it's definitely not normal. Like sometimes people come in and say, I don't know, I'm getting older, maybe that's just what happens. I think symptoms like that are little red flags that there's inflammation in the body and that something is awry. Maybe the hormones aren't balanced, maybe the thyroid is deficient, maybe you're missing some micronutrients, but there's something going on and it warrants an evaluation. But those are common reasons people come in.
Right. What about guys? I mean, we hear a lot about hormone therapies of a variety of kinds for women. Do men have hormonal imbalances and changes as well?
Oh, they absolutely do. I would say more than half of my practice is men who want their health optimized. They want their hormones balanced. They want maximum vitality. They want to live every day, feeling their best. And I'm in this demographic, but 40-some-year-olds who say they want to play, with the 28-year-olds, and be able to compete in the basketball court. So I get that. It's about living your best life. And the things you're doing to live your best life are going to lower inflammation and help you live longer, too. So you're killing two birds with one stone. And
again, that's not the inflammation of like spraining your wrist or your ankle. That's cellular inflammation.
Exactly. That is inflammation at the level of a cell, right? And that's bad inflammation as opposed to the good that's supposed to come, help you fix things, regenerate new cells. This is bad, chronic, brewing, long-term inflammation that causes disease. Very different.
How do we tell that we have cellular inflammation? Are there tests for that? Is there science backing that up?
Absolutely. I mean, there's one thing the patient gives, their history, but then we do a pretty thorough workup in the blood work, and we're looking at all these different markers of inflammation, for people, whether it's at the heart or the thyroid, blood vessels, all kinds of different inflammatory markers that tell us that we need to do some work for the patient. And then, of course, there's the lifestyle factors too, right? So you can get inflammation from not sleeping optimally, not eating the right foods, not exercising, and not managing your stress.
Yeah, stress is a big thing. What would be the number one stress reducer in your opinion? And does it start with the letter E? Exercise.
Oh, exercise? That's up there. I think that, it's really hard to put in order, but the things that are super important, yes, exercise, but also sleeping. If you're not sleeping, you can't exercise. You're not going to eat the right foods, and it's extremely inflammatory. It's a risk factor for Alzheimer's. It's at night when your brain clears out all of those bad proteins. And I think optimizing the sleep for me is usually step one to getting a patient back on track.
Yeah, sleep is important. Of course, I woke up at 4:00 this morning. I've been doing that lately. I have to get that fixed. What's the best way of getting a good night's sleep, in your opinion?
The best way to get a good night of sleep is to kind of set the setting for it correctly. A lot of us are on our phones, iPads, TVs till late at night. Really, at least an hour, maybe 2 hours prior, you should be off the devices. Maybe in the evening, use some blue light glasses. Make sure that you're, not eating any, sugary foods prior to sleeping. Maybe some relaxing, teas. Maybe take a shower. Read a physical book as opposed to something in the Kindle. And some mindfulness, some deep breathing. I love the Andrew Weil 478. But doing some of that really sets the right stage for sleeping right. And then if you find that you're waking up in the middle of the night, sometimes, some natural supplements like magnesium glycinate can be amazing for deep restorative sleep. So, look at what's happening with the patients that problems falling asleep or waking up, and, we address we address that. But that, I think, setting the stage, for sleeping well is step one.
All right, personal question. Do you sleep 8 hours a night?
Probably not 8. I think it's more like 7, but really 7 to 8.5 hours is my target for patients. But I do try to get 7 hours of sleep in. That's where I perform my best during the day.
What about naps? Are those a good thing to try during the day?
I mean, I know that people say power naps can be really helpful. I don't know that I've really seen any research that says it's actually better for you. I personally, if I take a nap, I'm a little bit thrown off my whole schedule. So I try to reserve the sleeping for nighttime, quite honestly. But I think it works for some people. Some people love those 20-minute power naps, and they feel completely recharged, and they can sleep well at night. Then good for them. Everybody's different. It's all personalized,
Right, and sleep can affect all kinds of things, from hormones to brain fog. Right?
Absolutely.
Correct? Am I correct?
It absolutely does. I mean, it can, not sleeping enough will absolutely cause brain fog. And here's the thing: not sleeping enough, because all your hormones are on a clock, completely screws up your hormones, and cortisol is one of them, and then all your sex hormones, the thyroid, everything is on a clock, and not sleeping right, and not being asleep at the right times really throws everything else off.
In our remaining couple of moments, I want to take a look at the name of the Anti-Aging and Longevity Center of Philadelphia. One of the precepts of your organization, of your company, is regenerative medicine. I mean, can you regenerate my abs so I can have a six-pack? Something I've never had, but I've always wanted.
Well, I mean, there's all this cool stuff happening. It's kind of amazing. I mean, a lot of times we have patients, we do all the, address the lifestyle issues. We, balance the hormones, make sure the micronutrients are sufficient, or optimal, I should say. But then there's also all this cool stuff out there, like these different peptides that can be used to kind of help, muscle mass and performance. So there's a lot of really neat stuff out there that, we can offer patients that I find really, fun and fascinating to work with.
Listen, Dr. Bonney, thank you very much for joining us. If you want information, look up Anti-Aging and Longevity Center of Philadelphia. And I have a feeling no matter where you are, Dr. Bonney can help you. And you can look her up, make an appointment, go to her website, and stay young and healthy even at 98 years old. Doctor, look forward to talking to you again. Will you come back sometime?
Okay. I'm sorry, come back to LA, did you say?
No, come back on the show.
Oh, my God. Yeah, absolutely. It was so fun to be on. I'd be happy to talk to you anytime. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Hold on a second. This is Late Night Health. I'm Mark Alyn. What a great laugh. This is Mark Alyn along with Daryl Wayne. That wraps up this edition of Late Night Health. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Have a great week, everybody. Have a good week. Most importantly, have a healthy week. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.